This is Rick, or rather, 3 identical Ricks, and today I sent them to 1945, to the Japanese city of Hiroshima, where the world's first atomic bomb will fall in an hour. They will end up in different parts of the city to understand. Is it possible to survive, and what exactly kills in an atomic explosion? World War II is drawing to an end. Most of Japan has already been destroyed, but Hiroshima is almost untouched. The city is living well, although the tension is palpable. Food is in short supply, people are thin, but bicycles still ride along the streets. Windows are open, and children's laughter can be heard. The first Rick is in the very center. He is walking through a busy market, choosing a watermelon, watching a boy fly a kite. There are many soldiers around, both on the streets and at the stalls. But the fighting is far away, and the city still seems peaceful. For now. The second Rick is at a warehouse about 1.5 kilometers from the center. He helps unload boxes of rice and canned goods with the soldiers. All of this is for the army units. It's dusty, hot, and tedious. People are used to the fact that there's a war going on, and they have to sweat. The third Rick is almost 3 kilometers from the center, on the edge of town. He sits by a rice field, watching the farmers working in the fields. The sounds of the city float to him, but here it's quiet, and the war doesn't even feel like it. A black dot approaches in the sky, an American bomber. Its target is Hiroshima. On board is a bomb codenamed Little Boy. This is the first atomic bomb in history, created to intimidate the enemy and generally test its performance in urban conditions. The bomb contains uranium-235. While it lay separate, nothing happened. But when the parts came together, a chain reaction began. The atoms began to split one after another, and in a split second, they released energy equal to 30,000 tons of conventional bombs. Little Boy is dropped. The metal cylinder whistles downward. It will explode in the air, 600 meters above sea level. This is no accident. This calculation increases the area of destruction and makes the explosion especially deadly. The flash blinds everything. Even those who turn away see a white light. The temperature at the center is 4,000 degrees. This is enough to vaporize metal, skin, and bone. It is even higher than the melting point of steel. The first Rick finds himself directly under the explosion. His body instantly evaporated, leaving a silhouette on the asphalt, a clear, scorched shadow. This isn't fiction. The vaporized people actually left a real mark, imprinted by heat. There's nothing else nearby. Everything has disappeared. The blast wave continues at a speed of 1,000 kilometers per hour. It destroys houses, knocks down walls, and tears off roofs. Within a 3-kilometer radius, there's only dust and debris. The air becomes a weapon. The second Rick is knocked down by this wave. He falls, and wooden beams fly into his chest. Rick is covered in burns and can barely breathe. Screams and flames surround him, and he loses consciousness on the spot, never to rise again. The fire devours everything. A firestorm with temperatures of 1,000 degrees begins in the center of the city. The air is sucked toward the epicenter, as if into a giant funnel. Even in basements, there is not enough oxygen. People die standing. The third Rick from the hill sees a flash and reflexively closes his eyes. Even from 3 kilometers away, the light is blinding, like the sun without glasses. A second later, he hears a rumble, and the ground beneath his feet shakes. The wind hits his face, as if a train had passed, and Rick is even knocked to the ground. He doesn't understand what it is, but he senses something powerful has happened. Then, a mushroom cloud rises over the city. White, smooth, one might even say beautiful. Rick shakes himself off and walks toward the city, just to understand what happened. Animals burn, standing upright along the roads. The birds have disappeared, the trees are bare of leaves, and the water in the canals is dark. Everything living has burned. An hour later, black rain begins. It's not dirt, but radioactive fallout. Soot, iodine, strontium. It eats into the skin, gets into the lungs, and slowly kills. Right now, Third Rick is receiving a massive dose of radiation. He enters the city. The streets are littered with rubble and not a single car, not a single ambulance. Hospitals are destroyed and bridges are demolished. Bodies and sounds he will never forget are everywhere. Rick trudges through the ashes until he collapses. He is uninjured, but the countdown has already begun inside. Radiation works silently. First nausea, then fever. Hair falls out, skin cracks. This is acute radiation syndrome. Even those who remain unburned are doomed. Death will come to them in a few days or weeks. Hiroshima is devastated. Nearly 80% of the buildings are obliterated. More than 70,000 people die in the first hours, including almost all the doctors. Those who remain can't help and don't even know how. The first Rick disappeared instantly. The second burned and died quickly. The third is still struggling, hiding in a dilapidated barn, drinking from a ditch, eating found rice. But the black rain has already taken its toll. On the third day, his heart simply stops. The third Rick raises his head for the last time. The sky is already clear, but that same mushroom cloud appears before his eyes. Everything was calculated and executed with precision. The mid-air detonation, the choice of weather, the altitude, it was all done for a reason. It was an experiment. Only this time not in the desert, but in a city where people lived. The entire city became a testing ground. The survivors suffered for years. Some developed tumors. Others lost their sight. Many children were born disabled. And even decades later, the effects have not disappeared. 3 days later, a second bomb is dropped in another Japanese city, Nagasaki, and Japan will soon surrender. The war will end, but humanity will be different. Everyone will understand. We now have a weapon capable of destroying all civilization. The world is entering the nuclear age. An arms race begins. The US, the USSR, Britain, China, everyone wants their own bomb. Silos, submarines, and missiles are being built. Hiroshima becomes a word that sends chills down your spine. Our experiment is over, and for the first time, 3 Ricks have died at once. Subscribe. It wasn't easy for them.